Welcome to eurythmiaonline.com with Cynthia Hoven, featuring eurythmy as a personal practice. This lesson is the fourth in the comprehensive webinar series number 6 and features the entire evolutionary series, beginning with B, ending in T. Thank you.
Good morning, dear friends. Good morning and happy Tuesday to you. So good to see you again. I hope you're well, and thank you for showing up for so many weeks on this journey of living together. I hope you're still drawing nourishment from this eurythmy practice as the year unfolds. I had a very interesting conversation with one of my clients who lives in another country, and he said he had been talking to a psychic person in his community who, so to speak, made contact with the being of Corona. And he said in that moment, that person received the message that this virus is going to be with us and keep coming back again until we learn what we have to learn from it. And I found that such a wonderful formulation, that we still have so far to go to learn everything that there is to learn in our journey of evolution. And I think it's right that we keep sculpting on ourselves, learning. The spiritual world is demanding of us that we awaken, that we go deeper, that we learn a new way of being, that we learn to be aware of the etheric world, the spiritual essence of reality behind and in and working through us in every way at all times, present in the world. And that's what I dedicate this eurythmy journey to. And I hope with my whole heart that this is what it's bringing to you as well. So we're going to continue with our journey today. We'll have our warm-up exercises, a little bit with our rods. So please have your rod in hand. And then we're going to continue on with the consonants. And I'm intending to get to the last 3 consonants of the evolution series today, which will then complete a huge portion and a foundation for all the consonant work for us. Let me remind you, and this relates to what I wrote to you in the PDF yesterday, how the consonants, with their formative forces, are actually all around us. And all the things that have been made of the natural world, we see things that are doing L and R and P and T, inscribed in the things that are living in nature. And many of the things are just, like, as I wrote, an enchanted word, a word that has come to rest. For instance, the flower bud is all curled up, but you can imagine the infinitely tender hands that have wrapped themselves around that flower bud in the shape of a bee, and so on. And so I give you these pictures so that the journey of getting to know the consonants is also a part of you getting to know yourself, getting to know the world that you live in, and even becoming aware of the formative forces that shape this world that we live in, that are still present. We just don't see them if we only look with our material eyes. There's so much to say about that. And of course, that's part of the vision that will be unfolded when we do this study group that I'm starting this Thursday night. But that's another story. I'll remind you of it again at the end of the class. Are you ready? Take your place in your room. Stretch your arms. Let your body be soft so that life can flow through your limbs. Let me speak the eurythmic verse again. I seek within me creative forces working, creative powers living. The heavy weight of earth tells me through the word of my feet. And the forming power of the air tells me through the singing of my hands. And the strength of heaven's light tells me through the thinking of my head how the great world in the human being speaks, sings, and is. But that is the beginning. Let's do the peace exercise together. Imagine a star above your head. You're thinking of the star above your head. You can also think of the Christmas star that's still shining on us through the winter, through this season. Let it shine down through the length of us, all the way into the center of the earth. We connect our inmost being with the star. And then we spread our arms right and left and feel how that opens the chest. Feel yourself being open, vulnerable, engage with the world. And then be aware of front space and back space. We feel these 6 vectors of space that we live in. We'll leave this position of balance and move into the 6 directions. So we go down into gravity from where the body comes, and up into lightness where the stars are shining, and back to hold the balance in the middle and liven the heart. In front of you, the world of the senses. Change your thinking before you move back. Feel the space behind your heart. Behind us, the vast invisible world. And inside your heart, you bear an image of the whole world. And once again, spreading wide. Space is real, the etheric is real. You are standing in living space. And we go down into gravity. This time I'll only go this far, so those of you who can't bend your knees, see that you can do this instead. I feel gravity, and I feel levity. Hold the balance in the middle. In the world of the senses, with enthusiasm, the world of the invisible space, with reverence, inside your heart, everything that fills you and feeds you your whole life is imprinted on your biography. And once again, spreading your arms, your hands, feel the strength of your peaceful and strong heart. And we go down. May peace be below me. May peace be above me. And may peace be all around me, right from the feet. Going forward towards the sense world, think of the world of gratitude. May peace be before me. May peace be behind me. And may peace be within me. Let's go straight to the angel wings for a couple of times before we get to the rods. So let's walk forward a few steps to the front of the room. I can only do 8 in this limited space. So standing straight, lift, carry, and place. As you walk, your heart is streaming forwards. Your feet carry your heart to where you're going in the world. For those of you who know astrology, we call that the Pisces. Secret and sacred mysteries of Pisces. Okay? Lift your arms. Feel your big wings behind you. Walking back. Unfold your wings. And fold them behind your back. Lift your wings through the space. Great white feathers. Going back. And there's a counter movement behind you. The counter movement of the angel. And lifting up. And going down. And your angelic helper as the wings in the counter movement. As those wings are up, I raise my wings. The angelic wings are lowering as we've practiced before. And let's go back again. Remember, you're loosening up your shoulder blades. We need that for when we do the consonants in a moment. All right. Let's open our arms wide. And from here, we'll go straight to contraction, expansion. In contracting, you pull your wings around you and bring all the forces of the world to your heart. Your gaze becomes soft. And now from your shoulder blades, unfold those wings, touch the skies, and bring all of that light into yourself. God sees you, Spirit sees you, and you give back to creation. And creation feeds you. You are rekindled with new forces in your heart, and you give them back generously to the world. And Spirit feeds you every night, every time you think, whenever you need help, you give back to the world. Seek your sources in Spirit. Within my heart shines the light of the sun. Within my soul weaves the warmth of the world. I will breathe the light of the sun. I will feel the warmth of the world. Light of the sun pour into me, and warmth of the world flow through me. And take a moment at the end of each exercise to feel what has that created in you. Feel yourself straight and tall, deep breathing, and once again, enliven into your relationship to Spirit, into the earth. Let's grab our rods. I hope you enjoy doing these as I do. It's part of my daily practice. Really wonderful in the morning. And we'll begin again with the sevenfold. We go through this quick abbreviated series. And we go down into gravity, up into lightness, to the right side, to the left, and to the right, above, below, in the middle, down into gravity, up into lightness, the right, to the left, to the right, above, below, in the middle. Precision is so important, but also crispness. Down, up, right, left, right, above, below, in the middle. And now we're stepping. One step forward, one back, to the right, to the left, to the right, straight back, up, straight forward, and a step to the left takes you back to your beginning position. Below, above, to your right, to your left, to your right, backwards, above, below, in the middle. 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 5, 2, 3, back, straight back, forwards, to the left, again, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, back, forwards, and back in the middle. 1 step each direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, much more crisp. 5, 7, and in standing, below, above, right, left, right, above, below, in the middle. All right. Thank you. We'll do the 12-fold exercise. Remember, the rod is down, your thumbs are in front of the rod. You begin like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What's important here is that you feel the difference between when the rod is up, you feel lighter, and you feel heavier. And that changes the quality of your movement. Here you feel more like you're working against gravity. It's light, airy, heavier and waterier. 1, 2, 3, 4 with resistance. 5, 6, light. 9, 10, 11, 12. And now with stepping. We step on the light ones, you'll remember. Step forward. 1, 2, 3, stand, 4, 5. Feel your back space. 7, 8. Feel rooted. Move. 1, 2, 3, ground. And backwards. And ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. Someone asked last week why we don't do the rod exercises. I said, I prefer to do it with the ball, and I don't choose to bring my ball out here. But let's do this with the spiral a few times. Got your hands in front, feeling heavy, and you're going to spiral the rod up until you feel lighter but tight in at the top. You feel going clockwise around yourself. 1, 2, a little bit higher, a little closer. 3, 4, then higher. 5, 6, 7, and 8. High, tight, and unleash yourself. Going down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And as I told you, that one has to do with the astral body, pulling yourself in and releasing yourself. Pulling in and releasing. All right. Let's do the waterfall. Remember, the important thing is not just to catch it, but to make this beautiful arc around yourself. And now in the backspace, to awaken awareness. It's the same space we meet with the angel wings or with the awe reference exercise. Now you're heavy coming around here. And again, higher and lighter and brighter. You might think, what do you feel with the awe reference exercise when you open your back? Try to see that rod behind you as it drops. And again, lifting around the back space. Drop and catch. And with a few steps. Catch and return. Drop and catch and return. One last time. And return. Thank you. Let's put the rod away. All right. We're reflecting back on the few words that I said at the beginning. The consonants are the formative forces in nature, also in our bodies. We have B's and T's and everything going on in our body and in our digestion the whole time. And when we practice them, we, as it were, develop a perception for the handwork of the Creator on the earth. So by getting to know these, we also get to know the things that have made us, have made our body, have made the sheaths that we live in, have made the things that we have to work with when we're in our bodies and in the world. Now we're learning the evolution series, a series of 12 sounds that tells this wonderful story, which we can interpret as a story from beginning to culmination, or in this case, we can say from birth to death. So let's go through the 9 sounds that we've learned so far. We begin with B, wrapping the sky around you. Out of our abode in heaven, we awaken to birth. And more and more, we move into matter. And we finally get down to earth. Downward drawn, we descend into darkness. We look around and we have our sense impressions. We are quickened by knowledge of the senses. And then remember we spoke about this movement of the teenager, restlessly roaming with wonder about the world. And at 21, hopefully, until the soul unfolds from within. And last week, we then took the next step to the sound G. And we stand at the gates and open the gates to look for our true destiny. Good. And we go into the world and immerse ourselves in learning, becoming more human, until what you've learned through the head becomes heart knowledge and you can become a teacher. Let's go through that again. Out of our abode in heaven, we awaken to birth. More and more, we move into matter. Downward drawn, we find ourselves. We are quickened by knowledge of the senses. Restlessly roaming, we wander about the world until the soul unfolds from within. We gain and grow in inner strength. We become more human as we learn. And then, the force of knowledge we flee into the air. Learn to perceive all of these movements as sounds. Learn to perceive every sound you hear as a shaping movement. Doing the consonants enlivens your etheric body. One of the things we say when we do the consonants is it helps us to be less rigid in body and soul and spirit. Learn to enjoy this flexibility of this movement. All right. Let's do each sound 3 times, remembering that we want to work with the color quality where we can. With the B 3 times. And when I do the B 3 times, I will alternate which hand is on top. You are dressed in yellow. You reach back to the skies and pull the blue cloak of the red lining around yourself. And again. And again. Change your colors. The space around you is blue, like wonderful blue water. You are green, meaning you are peaceful. You sustain a very active tension in your lower arms and your lower legs, the Aquarius part of you. Whole different mood here. And one more cycle. And feel yourself humming on the surfaces of your body. And D, you are dressed in orange. Around you, this red orange with might. You decisively press downward. But there's a counter movement in you that stands taller. D. And again, use the flat of your hands, push downwards. D. The tension in your hands increases all the way down. Little tension, more tension, more tension. Very firm below you, but you stand straight. Good. And now the end sound. Again, you are green. Space around you is lilac. Delicately, peacefully, you touch the world. No. You pull it back. Remember this instant where you stand straight here. So this is suspended. No. And again. No. And R. You have this red flame inside you, but all around you is yellow. And you are hot. You're very vigorous. Now with the L, become peaceful. With this gray, smoky, silver green, unfold from the darkness into the light. And then L, and again. L. Now the second half of the story. You are dressed in yellow again, like you were in the beginning of the beginning. Space around you is this smoky, silvery gray. You push it aside with your upper arms here, where your strength is. You just go this far, not further. Don't unbend the elbows. Good. Feel what that does to your chest. Your eyes there to see. Good. And again. Good. And now with go forwards. And with this veil of learning stream peacefully through us. We have this yellow orange inside ourselves. We're interested, curious, and we learn more. And again. Once my arms get up here, what I feel is the inside back of my arms. And you respond with F. You are dressed in white. Your knowledge is selfless. And your F is your power. All around you, fire. I breathe the force of fire of knowledge into the air. Fire light. All right. Now let's go on to the last 3 sounds of this major series. And the next one is the sound, first let's bring the question. What is the next step of evolution after one becomes a teacher? And that would be to become a master, to become a master teacher, to become a sage, to become wise, even to become, if you will, a magician. And so the mantra that I created for that was, I seize the staff and I subdue the serpent. This is perhaps the most difficult of all sounds to do in eurythmy. And I'm sure most eurythmic colleagues can remember being chastised in trainings to say, no, that's not it yet. Try harder, because it requires real energy. The S is a sound that belongs to Scorpio, the sound of death, rebirth, healing. So let's practice saying that for a minute. Notice what you have to do. Go ahead and say it. Feel your mouth. Yes, keep saying it while I talk to you. Notice how you have to just make the air really tight and push it out through your teeth. And if you do that well, then you can kind of feel as if you master where that goes. You can master your out-screaming breath. Perhaps you can imagine you have something like a whip, if you will, that you're playing with, and you send that whip making around. Now to do that sound in eurythmy, You have to have that much power. And so let's imagine, first of all, the consonants always begin in the shoulder blades. You're going to have to get that much power into your fingertips. So let's try. This is a prelude. This isn't the sound itself. But try to feel you've got a whip-like quality in your arm, and you go right out to your fingertips. Now let's wave it around just a little bit. That way. Notice then I'm connected to my shoulder blade. I keep my fingers tight together in control, but the whole arm has to be sinuous. And that's what gets so hard. Few people are able to do that well at the beginning. You hold your arm like that. Now this is the beginning of the S sounding rhythm. So play with that a little bit. First one arm. Try to feel both your shoulder blades and your strong fingertips and the arm in between sinuous. Let's go up and down as you like. I would love to be with you and see the experiences that you have as you do it. I'm keeping my hand down right now, but in my next step, I'll practice turning the hand, the palm up and down as I go without losing any of my intention. This is totally conscious, but not prescribed. So just play with it. Do I want to put my hand up here? Yes, maybe I want to keep it up here. Time to try the other arm. First of all, give it its strength from here to the fingertips. And again. Again. Now, if I were with you, I could imagine that at least half of you in your eurythmy room are saying the sound S as you do it. Even though I've told you never to say the sound as you do it in eurythmy. But most people end up mistakenly speaking this if they do it because it helps them get the right feeling, like you not to speak it. Try to get that feeling into your arm. Truly, 70% of students will say it as they're learning it. All right. So just watch this one. I will do an S like this with very, every S might be different, asymmetrical, very malleable. But when we do the S as beginners, we make a really prescribed shape in the air. So we're going to make an 8. Imagine, I'll start with my right hand. You know the shape 8. I'm going to draw the 8 from below up and from up. Finish it by going down. So draw it just in air first. This is what you're drawing. Try to get your body out of your way. You're going to draw it like that. And then down again. In a moment then, we'll do it with the left hand, and that one will go the opposite direction. You'll go this way in and out, and in and out. So each of the hands is going to go in and out, and in and out, in the S that it makes. I'll do the right hand, so now we'll go opposite again. And now we won't just draw it, but we'll do it with Scorpio strength. Connect your hand to your shoulder blade. And you're going to go. We start by scooping down. Scoop down to the bottom of your S. Go in and out and in and out. Again. I will speak it for you as you do it. Try to match what you hear with the feeling of your movement, but try not to speak it yourself. Again, I'll speak it. S. 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 I master the staff. I subdue the serpent. I master the staff. Subdue the serpent. Once more. Now with the other arm, the left arm. Again, watch out for what we're doing with mirroring. The arm will start in. So we go down, rise in, the inside curve, the outside curve, inside curve, and the outside. Again, down and up, down. As I said, this is the sound of the sage, the wise one, the magician, the healer. The one who understands deep mysteries has the power to work with them. More than a teacher. Yes. Got it? Now, you do both arms together. This means that your arms will cross at the bottom, they will uncross in the middle, and cross at the top, they will uncross at the middle, and at the end, you're going to hold your arms like this, as if you have your S powers like under your control. Spread your, excuse me, spread your arms wide. The arms will cross at the beginning. Both arms come towards the center. They cross. They're both doing an inside curve. They uncross. When they rise to the top, they cross. They do their outside curve. And cross. Please make me drink of water. And maybe a lozenge. You can try it while I'm getting my lozenge here. And excuse me for that. And again, the arms are wide. Take them down. Yes. Yes. Continue. As you do, think. Call to mind the staff of Mercury, the symbol for the medical profession, which is showing the staff in the middle of the snakes. You're doing this in a living way in your practice here. The staff here is your spine. The deep mystery here. The S is very related to the power of the ego that you need to go through the mysteries of healing, the mysteries of birth, death, rebirth, resurrection. So stand straight and let all these magical, powerful resurrection, death forces, Scorpio forces weave around you. Back is straight. S. How do you feel? No one that I've ever met has mastered this one in the first day that they learned it. It actually takes a long time because inwardly we have to grow and develop and cultivate our Scorpio capacity. But I hope that you will practice this one and come to terms with that in your own journey, the rhythmic journey that we're on. Let's continue. What experience, what quality does the sage need to cultivate then? And the next sound is the sound ha, which we've met already in the awe reverence, in the hallelujah. And this is the sound which reveres what is greater. And so the sage, in this story, has to acknowledge that whatever she does is in service of a much higher lawfulness. And this is the ha sound. So even though the sage can do everything, the sage opens to the sources in reverence. So we've done the ha. Sorry, I'm speaking with my mouth or with my arms already. But try saying this sound way back in the back of the throat. It's just a simple opening. In Sanskrit, it's called the very first of all sounds, the glottal stop. Let's prepare by holding ourselves closed. We don't have to, we could do the ha right from here, but let's start here. And the ha gesture is as light as a bird. The ha really comes out of the shoulder blades, so from your shoulder blades, lightly, ever so lightly, toss your arms in the air. From the side. What's marvelous about this is how much you have to let go to do a beautiful ha. The dress, the feeling of the movement, which is represented in the dress, is yellow. So you let yourself in yellow energy expand. But the space around you is light red. Let it go. Let it keep going. Again. Light tension. Let it go. Okay, you can watch my arms for a moment. How do I get this going? I notice how I'll do it really slowly. See where I am here in my upper arms. And then see how it rolls out. It just lightly, weightlessly expands into the fingertips. Without stopping. I don't stop and do one and the other. I just very organically go. And again. And open your back space. It's also possible to do the ha coming in. That would be this. Once more. All right. And now one more sound. So we had the ha. And then we come to the end of the story. The last sound in the sequence, I can name it the sound of reaching the goal. I could name it the sound of coming to the end of one's life. It's a kind of culmination, a crowning. The end of a cycle, the end of a life, and the beginning of the next chapter. And this is the sound T. And the mantra that I created for it is transformed by spirit. I am touched by truth. The T is related to the sound D. Practice that with your mouth for a minute. D, D, T. Very similar. D, T. But the T is more mighty. And I like to I'll start like this. I have some powerful images for it, but I'll start with this one. You stand at the end of a biography here, and you're going to take everything that you have learned about the earth, about being born, about your senses, about knowledge. You're going to take all of that, and you're going to take all of nature, all of the experiences of your life, all of your prayers to God, and bring them right into yourself at the culmination of your life. So you start by standing straight. The T creates and supports your uprightness. You're going to begin with your hands out and down. Now we begin the largest scoop that you can imagine. Here, so wide. You begin to curve your arms up, so wide. You reach for the heights until the back of your hands come together above your head, and then you welcome a lightning bolt of spirit to come right into your very crown. Savor this uprightness, and you should feel that as it strikes into you, inwardly, you respond like a tuning fork. I am here, I'm straight. Again, from below and wide and high, and let me say something to you before the next one. It would be a mistake to go and crumble under this experience of spirit. In contrast, when it strikes into you, you rise higher. Something else happens there too, because as you rise higher and become like this tuning fork, the power of this in-streaming energy fills you. Rudolf Steiner, when he drew his picture for it, he said you can imagine it as it were resounding in different cups inside of us. He never spoke of the chakras. I don't either. But I can imagine for myself a cup that receives this inflowing energy here at my throat, here at my heart, here through my digestion, and then all the way into the feet. I hold the spirit energy. So from below, as much as you can, big angel wings are rising, coming in, and straight you stand. We'll do another series of them. I'm going to do 6 more teams. and feel it reverberating through you. A powerful sound, isn't it? All right, let's do now the 3 sounds that we learned today, beginning with the S. Beautiful journey, isn't it? Again. And once more. And now let's go back to where we started last week with the G. As the 21-year-old, pictorially spoken, goes into the world to find his or her path, learns it, becomes a teacher, master, opens in reverence, and comes to life's culmination. You ready? Let's start with the G. G. Stand at the gates to higher knowledge. Become more human through learning. Breathe the force of knowledge into the air. And T. Let's try that again. You catch a vision of what you would like to learn. Good. Good boy. Learn. Share from your heart. Become a master. Open in reverence to the divine. And unite yourself at the culmination of your life's work. And so now, for our last activity for today, let's go all the way from the B to the T. 12 sounds. Out of our abode in heaven, we awaken to birth. More and more we move into matter. Downward drawn, we find ourselves. We are quickened by knowledge of the senses. And in our youth, restlessly roaming, we wander around the world until we reach the point where we unfold our soul from within. When we're ready, we stand at the gates to higher knowledge. We develop our humanity through what we learn. We free our teachings into the space. So that length we become a master. Opening always in reverence to what is higher. The culmination of our life's work, spirit fills us from head to foot. Teeth. Let's fold our arms. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go into questions and answers here. All right. Hold on a second. I'm going to use my other camera here, and everything's fine, right? Okay. All right.
Don't go away. I just need to do a small technical bit.
I had no plans to go anywhere. That works.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you. Okay, here we are.
Hey, people, how was that? I'm so glad we got all the way to the T today.
Wow, powerful. There we go. Okay, our first question. Yes, I just need to take a moment to breathe and go soak that up. That'll take a week or a lifetime to soak all of that.
It's a lot on that one.
Yes. So coming to a question from Lydia way back. She asked, what is the constellation associated with CH?
Libra.
And that's exactly what Gil said.
Hey. Yay.
Yes, what a team. And then Sarah asked, the H sound, is the breath moving outwards or inwards? I feel more energy if I breathe inwards and out through the shoulder blade area.
Yeah. I'm moving out. I breathe out. But when I said you can also do the coming this way, it's because it can go either way. But it's really an out breath. But you can do both. This is life. It's not too diagrammatic.
Yes, and.
Yes, and yeah, do you know, someone wrote me this week and asked for a little clarification about how to do a sound, and we got into an exchange. I said, you actually, as a eurythmist, develop the capacity to hear, to perceive yourself, to perceive the sounds, the shape of the sounds that you're speaking. So, for instance, with the you can practice speaking it, and then you should be able to discover what the shape is. Astonishingly. This is a capacity that grows in us. These are objective forms and movements, but it takes a while to understand that and perceive it, develop that capacity.
A lifetime of work on our way to
On our way to tea. That's right. We're at right now, learning and learning and learning.
Oh, yes. Genevieve asked, please, what are the colors for F, S, and T?
F is white with reddish orange all around us. And as I said, it's because we practice selflessness with it. Yellow, orange, here we go. This is F. Can you see? I'm holding it up here. You've got in the camera, it's hardly there. There's the figure dressed in white. That's the back foot, the front foot, the figure, and then shooting this fire through. It's a very interesting sound because the whiteness instructs us to be selfless. Now the S is not so soothing to look at because the magician is very stern. Dressed in gray, surrounded by a brown movement and gray with black tension in the arms. I actually want to get you my other book, so if I can get it quickly. Here they are. If I can show you the one that Rudolf Steiner did for S, because it's not pretty. It's very firm. As we go, I'll show you. These are the original drawings that Rudolf Steiner did with his colleagues for the different sounds. And this is the G, the K, which we haven't learned yet, the Hya sound, P, which we haven't done yet. So you'll see that the sounds that I did are done a little better, or not better by any means, differently. I had the paintings done with the whole background in the color of the veil. Here's the T. That was one of your questions there. The T dressed in orange, so you feel this vigor, this intentionality within yourself, and the veil is red. The movement around you, the field you move through is red. And so what is the green? It means that inwardly in your muscle tension, you have this equanimity, this quiet and peacefulness. And D, you know that I've sent all of these to you. The V, there's the S, there you go. Harsh, huh? Harsh. Gray dress, brown movement around. And I think we can experience this brown. I never taught you that, but it's like wrought gold. We have to think like a living gold. And black muscle tension. Yeah. Trish wrote, I haven't found the CH in the things that I mailed out. Trish, they're in the ones that I sent out last week. Last week I had G, H, and F. So you'll find it there for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Carolyn, if I did not understand your question, so if you are able to send that again, that would be most helpful. And then we have a question from Darla. Can you say again, what is the color and constellation for L?
L is Capricorn. Isn't that wonderful? Capricorn, which is the midwinter sound. And so we have this energy that goes into midwinter, into the null point, and changes it into light. Here's the drawing that I have, which this figure is at the culminating point, dressed in silver gray with this lilac all around. And I'm going to show you Rudolf Steiner's drawing while I have them out, if I can get to it quickly. Maybe not. Good. No. Because in his wonderful drawing, here's R. Look. H. There we go. There's the H. Ha. Drawn with the arms in. And the drawing I have has the arms going out. I should say his are surely more right than mine, but mine are also right. And here's the L. And his is emphasizing more the going down part of the L. And you see how angular that is. Actually, all of the ones that he made are quite angular. It was important to him not to make them too soft and gushy and sentimental. So he chose a style that was more like Art Nouveau. Yeah.
And you are waiting patiently.
Who?
You are.
For what?
For the next question.
I am.
And I am scrolling up and down until I found it. Okay. Tish said, this one, well, okay, Tish said, I have not found the CH sound in your book. Is it there? The answer is no.
The answer is no. Why? Because there actually CH is a secondary sound for its constellation. Its constellation is Libra, and I decided to put the Libra in the book, the Libra sound, which is here. And in English, I would write that TS, a very soft TS. So I put that in the book instead of the here, because in the book I just chose to do the pure zodiacal sounds. Apologies, but when I taught this class, I decided instead of the ts to do the one that belongs very classically in the evolution series.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good research, Tish. Genevieve said, when looking in nature for the consonants, I began to contemplate people's names.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the gesture for J of the soft G?
Exactly. Let me just say, can you imagine how hard it was for me to name my daughter? Gosh, I can't give her the wrong name. Oh my goodness, a little bit of knowledge can really throw you into despair. I thought, oh no, if I give her a sad sound, no, never mind. I haven't given you the J yet. I'm building up towards that. I will just show you, but that's the only one I'll show you, people. There's a lot of other J's and other sounds and was and buzz in here. But the J is a combination of D and CH, D and SH, SH. We'll do this better. SH is this, and D is this. So J is next week or the week after.
Soon.
So we have 3 more weeks of this series.
Yes.
Other sounds P and K and things like that.
Oh, no, we already did. Okay. Ayana asked, where can we purchase Rudolf Steiner's drawings of the letters?
Yeah, does anyone know? Jessica, are you still here? Do you know where? Does anyone know where they're for sale now? I'm not sure.
Jessica is not in with us now. And okay.
Come back, Jessica. No.
Yes. It was a question from Ayana. So we will
I don't know where they are right now. I get those books directly from the Goetheanum, the bookstore. Someone says, thank you, Judy. Windstone Press, out of, I can't finish it. What does it say? Out of print, out of England, sorry, I don't have my,
Out of England.
out of England, they have it. Windstone's Press. I don't think there's a source for it in the United States right now.
Okay.
It's not a very affordable book, but it's beautiful. There are places where they have posters that have small pictures for every one of the sounds. And there's another place you can get like cards with them, but I don't know where to source that right now. They have cards, says Judy. I would recommend the cards. Thank you, Judy.
Sorry, I'm just enjoying the comments, but I'm back. I will do my job. You will get to enjoy the comments as well. Okay, that is the end of our questions, and yes, and you will enjoy reading the comments.
I so much hope you people have enjoyed this. You know, we're going so deep into this, and I'm just delighted to have you. I want to remind you, I think I've reminded you enough, but I want to remind you of the human and cosmic evolution class that begins on Thursday night. We'll go for 8 sessions. And let me just tell you, based on the book, an outline of occult science, or an outline of esoteric science by Rudolf Steiner. And we'll speak about the whole process of becoming, with many layers that help us understand the 4 so-called bodies of the human being, the 4 elements in nature, the 4 kingdoms of nature, the whole spiritual background of the world. The course is based on Rudolf Steiner's book, and yet on chapter 4 of that book primarily, and yet the book is very, very, very extensive to read. So I hope people will read the book as we do the study, but I can't reasonably expect that everyone will, but I'll be taking you through it on a journey. I want you to know that if you want to take the class, you'll have to sign up now, and because I will close the registration next week, I will make the recordings, but I'll only have the recordings online for 1 week, and then I'll take them down. Why? It's because of how I want to work with the electronic medium. I don't want to have something so intensely spiritual out there on the anonymous web for people to just stumble across and either praise or disdain or whatever. In putting them on the web, I'm connecting my own being with it, and I only want those lectures there for a limited time. That's also why I put these comprehensive classes onto the timeline, so that they're not available for public viewing, because we're going so deeply into things. So comprehensive people, you're on the deep dive now. Yeah.
Wait till the next series.
Wait till the next series, where we're going to planets and constellations soon.
Ooh. There's one more question that came in, and Judy, I need you to clarify here. Judy asked, anything to read and preparation. Judy, I am guessing you are asking about the Cosmic and Human Evolution class on Thursday. Yes, for Thursday. Thank you, Judy. So you mentioned the main book. Do you also want to mention the secondary readings?
Yeah, there are. Rudolf Steiner, in this book, Esoteric Science, Rudolf Steiner wrote at great length, but he also gave the same information in many, many, many lectures. And I find that one of the best, most comprehensive compilations is in a book called
Theosophy of the Rosicrucians. And so I can also recommend that you read that book, especially beginning with chapter 9. And another book that I recommend is Cosmic Memory, and that is also called Out of the Akashic Records. And I've got that all written down. So Judy and anyone else, when you go to register, you'll end up going to the page on my website, and on that page is a list of the books that you can read. As for what you should read for the first one, I want you to know that on the first evening, I'm going to be kind of pulling people in and explaining about the 4 bodies of the human being, spirit, soul, and matter, about the 4 kingdoms of nature, the 4 stages of consciousness, all of this to prepare us for that next week when we dive into the first beginning of planetary evolution, ancient Saturn. So to get ready for this Thursday, if you're going to be with me, you should just start warming up your familiarity with all of these terms. What is body, soul, and spirit, and so on. If you're a newcomer, take a good look at chapters 2 and 3 of that book, the Outline of Esoteric Science. Or also, if you're a newcomer and you want to take the easier book, The Theosophy of the Rosicrucians, then begin with chapter, I think it's 2, but I don't remember right now, which is called The Ninefold Constitution of the Human Being. It's a title chapter. Look for that one. Okay.
Well, okay, and we have a couple more questions that have been generated in this conversation. Deborah said, I am unable to make the class on Thursdays. Would you recommend or allow registering just for the recordings?
That's not quite the way it works. But your answer is okay. I mean, yes, you'll be all right. Everyone, and only everyone who is registered, will receive, like you receive for these classes, a link afterwards for the recording. This recording will be a little bit different. I'll keep it in the cloud, and I'll send you a link for the Zoom cloud. I won't edit it and put footnotes and things in it, but you will get an email with the link in it the next day. I don't think I'll get to it the same night.
Good. So Deborah, coming back to your question and coming back, repeating what Cynthia said about registering for the first class, then you will continue to get those links.
Correct.
I think we've got this. Okay. And then Vivian asked, what time?
It's 5:30 to 7 Pacific time.
There we go. Okay, my dear.
You know that we as Eurythmists, and all of you who know Eurythmists, we're doing just great with the COVID thing. We just give each other bee hugs from a distance, right? Fine. We've got this.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for your commitment, your tenacity, and as always, my fervent hope is this is serving you and serving you, being a light for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cynthia.
See you next week or tonight for those of you who do the short service, or Thursday. Thank you. Bye for now.